Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on chess.com and I'm going to play a 15-2 game here. It has been a while. Let's play against Computer4-Impossible. It's a very low rating for Computer4-Impossible. Okay. Going with a Fianchetto. How should I approach this? I've played the black end against this beast before. Same position type, and I've followed up with d5. Wondering if I could do something different. Nah, I think I'm still a fan of putting a pawn in the center. And we'll see what white's reaction is. Alright. Okay. Well, I'm probably just going to go with a simple setup. One that deploys the light square bishop outside of the pawn chain. Let me insert first c6. I'm going to reinforce d5 so that when I bring out my bishop there isn't some quick strike with c4, queen b3, but forget about that. White is heading for a double Fianchetto. Okay. I feel like if I play bishop f5, the knight will play into e4 or d4. But no. How much of an inconvenience would that be, really? So I'm just kind of trying to decide, do I want to go to g4 or f5? If I go to g4, he'll just be shooed away with h6 and with h3, and that's a desirable move. Once white castles, it's nice to have the h2 square for the king. Let's put the bishop on f5. Okay. Well, that's obstructing the c-pawn. I don't have to worry about any quick strike. This is my bad bishop on f5. I may still want to take some care over my bishop. h6 is a useful move, flight square reason, and it preserves the bishop to any knight attack. I'm going to go with that. Simply h6. Okay. And now I'm just deciding whether or not I want to play knight d7 and maybe shoot for a pawn duo, or just e6. I'm going to go with knight to d7. Let me retain some options with my e-pawn for the moment. Where else is he going to go? Okay. Let's come back. This was the idea. So maybe white's headed for f4? No. Okay, you know what? On second thought, I think I still want to simply go to e6. Because this knight, and I think white might try to, let's say, coordinate a bishop and knight and land on the f5 square. So I want to take some steps to guard the f5 square. Let's just go e6. Computer will be making a reply within just a few seconds every time. Well, a move like bishop b4 must be met with a3. Well, I guess a move like e3 could be played, but bishop b4 would be threatening d4, winning the knight. I don't think I could really take advantage of the knight. This pin. A similar situation, as I pointed out with bishop g4. If I try bishop b4, he'll be challenged immediately, and white is slowly gaining some queenside space. So I'm just kind of trying to determine where I want to go with my dark square bishop. These three, yeah. Which one of these three do I really want to go to? I feel like this might be quite alright. I'm hesitant to go to d6 because I'm anticipating an e4 advance, and I want to kind of steer clear of any fork possibility with e5. This feels more modest, but I think it's just fine. Bishop c5 to try to provoke d4 is another idea. then white would have a harder time playing e4. I'm just kind of trying to anticipate what type of pawn advances white's going to go with. How will this position open up, in other words? I'm staying off of d6, so c5, e7. Let me just go here. See if I could maybe provoke d4. Okay. Probably castle. Yeah, let's just castle. I thought for a moment about forming a battery. It's a very odd move. To play a rook from a closed file. I mean, there's no clarity just yet with no open files just yet, so I'm not thinking about moving any of my rooks right now. Maybe I could make a pretty non-committal move. Keep my central structure as is and just play a5. My other idea is queen e7, but I'm just gonna wait, I guess. a5. Yeah, white is lining up this move. Not much I could really do about that. Maybe queen c7 is another move. No. I don't know. I'm not sure how to really... I'm not sure what my candidate moves are, let's say. a5. Queen e7. Don't know that I really have much more. Queen e7 to maybe get some type of piece exchange. Not really sure what that accomplishes. This is I mean, both bishops are pretty good for white. This is maybe the more dangerous bishop, actually, on b2. I have no pawns obstructing it, and it's striking down at my king's side. Queen e7, bishop a3. There is some backing up type of move. Alright, I'm not going to commit my queen. I'm just going to go with a5. This knight ever moves, I have this advance. Okay, maybe I could continue expanding with b5. No, then there's takes. I want to be able to recapture with this pawn. I don't know. I could consider capturing. It's going to justify the rook move, though. I think I still want to hold my ground with this point. White seems like they're going to go, let's say, king to h1 and f4. Or maybe even white could try to change the structure with d4 and then here. I don't know if I would be afraid of that. Let's go queen c7. Yeah, I feel like I'm regretting the a5 move because of takes, and then maybe the knight jumps into b5. So I can't play this move just yet. I need to anticipate this advance and this one. I'm going to move my rook here. Just so if d4, my bishop can come back to b8, and if my knight is ever kicked, he could go back to e8, and my rooks are still connected. Alright, let's take towards the center. Now the b5 square is weak, and of course, computer jumps right in there. Okay. Let's play queen b6. Throw a punch right back. Don't allow the knight to return here. Where's my light square bishop? He's a long way off from trying to kick this knight away. He is really well positioned. So if my bishop can't challenge the knight, who's going to? Maybe my knight. Knight e8 into d6 is a way forward. I think I want some exchanges first, though. What about bishop b4? Dark square bishop exchange. This guy scares me. My structure does a fine job of the e6 and d5 structure do a good job to control these two minor pieces. It's this guy that kind of concerns me. If I go for this maneuver, maybe the queen comes over here. This is one of my best defenders of my king side. Let's try this first. Let's go bishop b4 and see how white replies. Okay. Well, at least the bishop isn't seeing along this diagonal directly, so now we're going to come all the way back. And I guess my next idea will be to try to challenge this this knight right here. That's a very odd move. It's already in one pin and potentially another. What's the idea behind that? I really don't know. I got to move a little bit faster. Still shooting for c4. Maybe I should play rook to c8 first before I think about these backward moves. Maybe get one more piece involved. Yeah, let's try that. Let's activate one more piece. See what white does. Okay, so they're getting the knight back in the ball game. This is another knight going to return on this square. Not too much I could really do about that. I think I need to at least attempt to fight against any pieces that arrive on this b5 square. And I don't know what my knight on f6 is really doing, so let's try to at least challenge this guy. Okay, where's that bishop headed? I don't know. I guess f5 or oh, okay, right here. If I play knight to d6, bishop here. Ooh, that's that feels like it's a problem. With maybe the knight jumping into a6. Knight d6, bishop e3, queen a6. Okay, I think I'll be okay there. Let's get knight d6 in 4 minutes. Guess I have to scoot over here. It's not fun. Queen is pretty sidelined. Yeah, I thought you might do that. Another knight returning on b5. Okay. How could I get this knight to challenge b5? I'm really regretting my a5 decision. One little gap and my opponent is taking advantage of that. Looks a bit weird, but I think this knight needs to do something else. Let's try to get into c6. What am I missing? Oh my god. What am I missing? Oh, really? Really, Computer Impossible. That's how you're going to play this one, huh? Sneaky guy. So just ready to smash through. Knight takes e6. Queen takes knight. Knight takes e6. Then you take my rook. Then you take here. 2 pawns and a rook for 2 minor pieces. And those are 2 very important pawns and my center pawns. Well, guess what? There's not much I could really do about that, is there? Can I really avoid taking the knight? Just play rook here? Oh, that's really awkward, but maybe I need to do that. Rook here. Queen takes knight, knight takes pawn, queen takes bishop, yeah. Giving up the queen for a few minor pieces, they're getting pawns as well. Queen takes knight, knight takes pawn. I gotta go back to, let's say, a6, knight takes rook. Rook takes knight, bishop takes pawn. I don't know. I think I maybe have to just allow that. Try to play with this imbalance. All right. They're getting 2 pawns and a rook. 2 of my only center pawns. And now this. Okay. Typical computer. Let's get my knight back in the ball game. Right here. Yeah. Where else is he going to go? Okay. I want to get some trades in. Also, my queen, she is like way out of the ball game. I think I want my knight on f6. Knight e8 to f6. Let's get a dark square bishop exchange in there. Knight here, bishop takes, king takes, queen e2. That's a bit scary. Some idea taking out my knight and queen to e7. Okay. Let's run my queen in the corner. I'm going to try to reroute my queen towards the king's side. Peter's still focusing in on the e-file. Okay, maybe I could still go in for this right now. I think I could do this. I'm trying to get my knight into the f6 square. I think it'll stand well there. Ouch. Well, that's painful. King takes bishop and then queen to e6. Mate. Yeah, well, that's a goner then. There's not much I could do but resign here. Yeah, that's a backbreaker. King e8, bishop takes knight. I'm losing another piece. Ouch. Man. Well, as mentioned, it was not too long after I played a5 that I just started to regret that decision. I think I referenced it just kind of, I don't know, thinking, yeah, maybe white'll take here and jump into this square. And I don't know if I didn't give enough respect to this idea, but I mean, just pouncing on that b5 square really caused me a headache. So this a5 move should do something else. Because as mentioned, when I played e6, the idea was to not allow any pieces into the f5 square. And, yeah, they didn't get into f5, but they got into b5. And that really unmasked the bishop, and this was a really desirable move. I should not have given up that square. I need to do something different right around here instead of a5. I don't know what more to add. I'll have a quick look at it with the computer. But, yeah, they take, and now what do I do on the recapture? I take here? I guess I could have, I could have considered taking with a knight. Yeah, why didn't I consider that? Maybe I was just too fixated on maintaining or taking towards the center and maintaining my central pawn presence. 2 versus 1. That was silly. I should have at least considered knight takes pawn here. Yeah, I should have considered knight takes pawn here. And so maybe a5 would be okay then. I recapture with the knight. If the knight captures only then, I could recapture with the c-pawn, and there isn't a quick way, at least, for white to take advantage of the b5 square. So maybe I still could do this, but making a better decision in reply to this capture. Yeah. Okay, well, let's just double check it with the engine and see what more we could take away from this one. All right, let's see what we could do a little bit better here. The opening should just be equal right up into that a5 point is really what I want to touch on real quick. Alrighty. So not a single piece exchange for some time. I maybe spent the most time right around here deciding on where exactly to deploy the bishop. Bishop b4, it's okay with. I didn't really see much point in doing that. Figured he would just get kicked as mentioned with a3. I castle, rook there. It's alright with a5. Rook e8, I guess, is another idea with an e5 advance. I don't know. I'm fearful of this kind of stuff. Playing e5. I've seen it do this kind of maneuver. Bishop h3 and try to trade light square bishops and plant the knight in there. I could always work around it if something like this happens. A bishop on f8 does a fine job of restricting the knight. I was looking for maybe something a bit more comfortable, playing within a structure that's more familiar to me, and doing something non-committal with a5. Okay. Let's see this point right around here after queen e7. And rook there. d4 I did not consider at all. d4, knight e2, and then e5. Grabbing a little bit of space. And, well, I give up this square, but yeah, I grab a little bit of space. I really don't know if I'm a big fan of this. White'll be returning with rook f1 and striking at my center quick. It's even suggesting c3 here. I guess I really wanted to play within this structure, maintain e6, d5, and c6. I played rook there. And after this capture, wants to take with the e-pawn. Yeah, I mean, I really should have given more weight to this knight to b5 move. So it's suggesting e takes, giving up this square, but at least I'm not having to work around knight to b5. I just created a big hole in my position, the computer pounced on it. So it suggests e takes, and I think it popped up as well. Knight takes is fine. How bad is c takes? Yeah, I certainly give just a little bit up. Okay, it's not losing, but yeah, I mean, it caused me a great headache, as you saw. Knight b5, and I already have to be very careful with where I go with my queen. Yeah, that knight is a really big bother. Rook a c8. Okay, I first played that, and then backed up. Let's go with e5 again. I get my rook playing. It's still evenish. But man, that is a great pest on b5. Knight e8 it's okay with. Okay. And bishop there. Knight c7? Knight d6? Okay, I played knight to d6. It's fine with that. It even likes me here. That's a bit of a shock. But alright. Queen a6. And after that move, it wants to go with e5. Yeah, I don't think I really ever had it in my head to establish a pawn duo. I wanted to maintain the structure and combat the kingside Fianchetto bishop. Okay. I still had in my mind to challenge that knight on b5. Somehow, it takes forever. But yeah, going for a little bit of a reposition, and we're pretty much at the game's end. Knight a7. Okay, yeah, I see this so often by the computer. It'll go in for a rook and two pawns and give up the two minor pieces. Maybe it'll just be equalish, but with that imbalance, it's always, I don't know. The computer always gives you problems. Well, it always gives me problems. It's tough to work with this imbalance. So it's still even. It likes knight to d7. I went knight to c6. Yeah, it's still even. Okay, so when was it just losing? Just that final move? It doesn't like throwing the queen in the corner. It wants to go with b6. Well, that's a really scary move to make. B6, I guess, on takes, I'm taking with the rook, and then I'm defending the knight. Okay. I put my queen in the corner, trying to sneak over and fight, and now this is just a losing move next. Trying to get into f6, yeah, complete blind spot to this little tactic on f7. Well, fairly equal throughout. I don't know. I was really blind to. I didn't really appreciate the b5 square and how annoying that could be. Just I don't know. It seemed like such an equal position, and then give the computer one little inch, and the pieces start jumping into my position like this, and I'm struggling to just try and get rid of that knight. It was uncomfortable for me, but in the computer's eyes, still equal. Right to the end here. I don't know, if I could do it different, I should really think more about changing the structure, possibly going in for e5. Maybe I shouldn't have been too concerned about a knight arriving on the f5 square. So getting back to this point right here, this capture, maybe it's simply quite all right to take like this, and okay, is this really such a big deal? A piece dropping into f5? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it should be too much of an issue for me, but I was too fixated on maintaining a certain structure, and that left me blind to some other possibilities, as you saw. Okay, well, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below, and I will catch you in the next one. That is all for now. Take care. Bye.